Oh, we are at Wings, etc. in Jackson, and we're going to be talking some Red Hawks football with the Red Hawks head coach, Tom Matukowicz, who picked up head coaching victory number 50 on Saturday at Eastern Illinois, a 31-7 win over the EIU Panthers. That's 5 straight wins for the Red Hawks over EIU and 6 of the last 7, and now they have won 3 in a row at O'Brien Stadium. That used to be a tough place for SEMO to win, but not these days. The Red Hawks rolling on Saturday. Red Hawks tight end Will Weideman is here. We're going to be talking with him a little bit later on in the show. We want to remind you, we're in the Jackson location. If you have not decided what you're going to do for lunch, we invite you to stop by. You walk in the front door here in Jackson, take a right. We're back in the banquet room, got some seats for you. And a reminder that in addition to their award-winning jumbo wings here at Wings, etc., they have a full menu that includes over 70 items that are not their award-winning wings. If you want to go in a different direction, they have a brand new refurbished burger menu. So make sure you check that out. They have wraps, subs, quesadillas, entree salads, smoked ribs, and much more here at Wings. If you're interested in their appetizer lineup, they've got their ultimate nachos, which are huge, and their spicy deep-fried pickle chips, and the daily lunch specials start at just $9.49. It's the home of the Red Hawks Coaches Show. Wings, etc., good food and great times. Coach Tom Matukowicz is here, fresh off head coaching victory number 50. How did that one feel? I know it was cold in Charleston, but how did that one feel once the final whistle sounded?
I felt great, and obviously didn't realize it was 5-0. I didn't realize 5-0 was a thing, that you celebrated or whatever. Usually think just your age, but hell, I thought, well, shouldn't I be winning more than 50? I've been here a while. But no, it was good, and every time I go to your state, all right, it's cold and windy and dreary and boo. So it was a challenge. I think the weather was a factor. We recruit South, and so we have a lot of players from the South. But I'm hoping we just didn't acclimate them. It was in the 70s all week, here. So hopefully this week, we'll be out in the cold. We'll play in the cold, and hopefully, our players would adjust to it a little bit. But it took us a little while going, as you could tell. 22-degree wind chill, and there were winds 15 to 20 miles an hour. Did the wind affect anything, in your opinion? It did, for sure. I was really, really disappointed we lost the coin toss. It wasn't a factor enough to take the wind and give them an extra possession, but it was close. And so when they won and defer, that was tough because you're going to go into the wind to start the game.
And the start of, real quick, Murray State coming on Saturday, and I've seen the weather forecast. Sunny, high of only 40. It'll be 17 overnight, high of 40, and winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. So we may have similar winds on Saturday in Cape.
Yeah, but totally different. That stadium is in a totally flat. Yeah. Our stadium is tough to get there, so the wind's not as big a factor as it is in Illinois.
But the sun being out, I'm sure fans will like that.
Yeah, you bet.
And it's now 1 win away from an OVC championship, so I'm sure you guys can taste the finality of the mission, which is to win the league title.
Yeah, since January, this is what we've all worked towards. We've talked about, we've sacrificed for, and you always want it to go like this, but how many times in your career does it go like this? And so it's kind of a fairy tale ending with a home game on senior night, and it's against Murray, who's beat us the last 3 times we played. So, this is what you want. You want a big game at Houck to finish regular season.
And it's 5 straight conference winning seasons for you. You went 4-2, finished second in the OVC, and you go back since SEMO joined the OVC. How many times have they finished in the top 2? It has not happened a lot. You've got a chance for a 3rd conference victory, conference championship in school history. And then after the game, when you address the team, there's video online of you talking to them, and the first question you asked them, How many guys were on the team last year? Raise your hands. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was just, we all went through a valley last year, especially the start of the season. It was obviously a tough non-conference schedule, but to go and double our win total from a year ago, that's hard to do, and says a lot about the character of our veterans.
And by the way, the brand new Stats Perform media poll is out for this week. The Red Hawks have jumped from number 20 to number 17. They were 19 in the coaches poll last week. We'll see. Coaches poll will come out a little bit later on. But even a win over a struggling Eastern Illinois program, that takes national notice, and you jump up 3 spots in the rankings.
Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think it was guys above us lost.
So I know the one thing that you talked about after the football game, we'll talk about all the positive things, but you said, man, it's been a long time since I got out-coached on special teams. I know it was a struggle on special teams. It was a punt blocked. It was, I don't know if the snap was bad, but the placement was a little shaky for the field goal that was missed, a short field goal. A muffed punt, those are things that we just don't see out of SEMO special teams. We just haven't.
Yeah, ahead of the game, I talked about their special teams. They were 1 or 2 in every single category. So, I knew that they were good, but evidently, I didn't prepare our team as well as I should have, and taken more notice of what they've done and prepared them better, because it was a problem. They had a good scheme against our punt, blocked it, but defense did what?
Stopped them.
No points. And then the one was a bad snap, didn't get a great hold. The other missed field goal was we had 10 out there because one of our guys got hurt, Danny, and then we were late getting on there, and he was rushed a little bit. Muff punt, you saw where our starter had a concussion, right? And that the wind was an issue, and you're trying to judge this thing. It's going all over the place, and we end up muffing it. And every time they punted into the wind, I took the returner off because, we don't get to practice that much. I mean, I can't artificially make wind like that to get those guys prepared. And if it's not your starter, I didn't want to take a chance at muffing too, But it was a tough day, and Murray's great on special teams, so it'll be a great opportunity to rally and play way better on special teams this year, or this game.
Dalen McDonald on the hit, and they only showed the replay one time, so we didn't get a look at it. I don't know that they went to video after that play, but his helmet not only got knocked off, it rolled 20 feet onto the sideline. What did you see on video? Was it a targeting play?
It wasn't. And I think he didn't have it on as tight as he needs to.
It looked like right before he got hit, he tried to adjust it. So
I think it was loose to start.
So his availability very much up in the air, I'm guessing, for Saturday.
Yep.
Boy, and he has been really good. I don't know how many guys around the OVC return kicks and punts. Those are 2 different skill sets, aren't they?
Yeah, very different. But no, and he had that really nice first return.
It was
great.
great.
He got maybe 20 yards or something like that. And we knew we'd have some opportunity there, so it was really disappointing that he got injured.
Boy, and the muffed punt, they pick it up at the 12-yard line, and so that is an extremely short field. That was the only scoring they had all day.
Yeah, I think the story of the game was our defense. We put them in some tough situations. And they just played really, really well, just really consistent. We had played well at Northwestern State, but gave up some big plays, throughout, and we've really eliminated that. You look at Tennessee State, you look at EIU, we haven't gave the big explosive play up. We've made them try to drive it and able to stop them on 3rd down.
I know a lot of the headlines this year for this team have been offense because of how good you are on offense.
As they should, yeah.
All of the skill players that you've got. Hess is the greatest statistical running back ever in school history. Paxton DeLorean has been tremendous. But the one thing that I don't hear people talking enough about is your defense. There is pass defense, there's rush defense, there's total defense, and there's scoring defense. And I know the one you care about is scoring defense.
Yeah.
You're number 1 in the league giving up 21 points per game. But in conference play, Coach, 14 points per game. You're giving up a touchdown less in conference than you are overall.
Yeah, we've just gotten better, a lot of new coaches, new players, and all that, and real low ego, every week. No one was being defensive about whatever it is they got to get better, whether it's coaching or playing, and they've been able to solve a lot of problems and have stayed healthy. The last 2 games, we haven't missed anybody or lost anybody, and as you know, that helps.
And it helped to have Mally Walton back. I mean, I know he's been battling some injuries, and that interception he made on the sideline, I mean, he went up and high-pointed the football. I'm not sure if he was trying to throw that ball away, but he didn't throw it far enough. That was an excellent individual effort by Walton.
Yeah, Mally is really athletic. I mean, he's a big, yoked-up looking guy, but he is a really talented inside linebacker. And he's had a rough year just because of injuries, so he's been in and out a bunch, but really athletic play, and I think got us going. We got 14 points off a sudden change. Those 2 turnovers our defense created, and then before you knew it, we're in a 3-score lead, and now we just, don't jack it up, and we're going to win that game.
Boy, and then Keandre Booker gets an interception. It looked like Sam Keeper was the guy who tipped it into the air, and Booker, he's been a playmaker. He's among the league leaders in sacks, tackles for losses. I mean, he's having a really good year.
I agree. And I've been hard on the outside linebackers. But there's a standard here. Since I've been here, those are the type of players that you need to have in our system, and so he's having a good year.
So how about the defensive coaches? Ricky Kuhn is a guy that was with you for several years, took another job, and you offered him the defensive coordinator position. He came back, and here you are, first year under Ricky Kuhn, the number 1 scoring defense in the league.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a great job, and the thing that I have learned since being a head coach, I don't go hire the best defensive coordinator I can hire. I go hire the best leader I can find. He literally has half the team. And so you got to be a great leader. You got to motivate. You got to inspire. You got to be able to solve problems, all those things that a leader has to do. And him getting, a head coaching opportunity and learn from that's really helped his coaching. And very thankful that him and his family are back.
So with Ricky Kuhn, whose son I see play on Friday nights, starting right tackle for the Jackson Indians, what have you seen in his evolution as a coach from when he was here to now as your defensive coordinator?
Well, I think all along, and I've known him forever, and so you just know what kind of man he is. He was a defensive line, kind of a guru. Like, he's coached some amazing defensive linemen and then have progressed to linebackers in the back end. And he was the head coach and coordinator at Dodge City where he's at. And so he's just maybe being able to have that perspective on the head coach side to, help him also.
And you can't talk about this football game and not talk about this freshman quarterback, Patrick Heidert, Coach. He wasn't on the depth chart. I don't know who's. I mean, obviously he's on your radar. I had to pull his bio up when he came into the football game, and boy, he was a decorated high school quarterback. CBC has one of the best high school programs in the state of Missouri. Class 6 just won the state championship. He led them to the state championship, threw for almost 3,000 yards and 22 touchdowns, ran for nearly 512 more, and you better be a pretty good quarterback if you're going to lead a team to a state championship. It's hard to do. There are a lot of pitfalls on the way, and he's a state champ.
Yeah, I mean, we were high on him out of high school. When you're talking about quarterback, you want to recruit a winner. He was that. But he's more than that. Both parents are alum. Both of them were SEMO grads. Dad's a cop, mom's a teacher. I mean, I wanted them to raise me. I mean, this guy's been raised extremely well. And he's my kind of guy, he's not soft. He's not entitled. He came out with no sleeves on. And I was like, God, this guy's either tough or dumb as hell. And it turns out he's pretty tough. So that was good to see. But, but he needs to understand that this isn't CBC and EIU didn't have a game on you. You better get ready for some come Saturday if you're the guy.
In other words, Murray is studying the game film of Patrick Heidert.
Because everybody say, he did a nice job. Well, that depends on what you compare it to. You compare it to a true freshman, yeah, he did a great job. You compare it to, hey, is he a number 19 team in the country quarterback? No. If you study the film, like, we got to get a lot better, and we don't have a lot of time to get there. And so, and obviously we're hoping Paxton plays this weekend, but we can't guarantee that, so we got to prepare him.
And one thing that your offensive line has done a lot of good things. Obviously, you've got the number one rush offense in the OVC, and it's not close. You are so far light years ahead of the next team, UT Martin, in terms of rushing offense. You have allowed a league low 9 sacks in 10 games. They protect the quarterback.
Yeah, they had a really nice game and playing well. And since Will is here, it's good to talk about tight ends. They do a lot of pass protection also. They're involved in the passing game, receiving too, but really, really happy for those guys.
My favorite play in the game, and it didn't score points, but I said it on the broadcast, I just love the play call on the screen pass to Weideman. You line up 3 receivers right, you roll Heidert right, offensive lineman pull left along with Weideman, a throwback screen to Will, and then he's just looking to who he can truck at 260 pounds.
Yes, and that's what you want a tight end. You want him skillful like a receiver and can catch the ball and all that, but big like a lineman. And they're hard to find, and can't say enough about the season he had. He's already has his degree. There's no reason he's here this fall. Like, the only reason that he's playing this fall is because he wanted to help this team accomplish a mission. And I don't think people realize, I know this, but people take it for granted how hard it is to go out playing your best ball. How many senior years have you seen not good? A lot. I've seen it all the time. And to go out playing your best ball says a lot about your ego and your character. And the best thing I can say about Will Weideman is he's leaving playing his best ball, and he's played pretty good. He's accepted new coaches and accepted coaching and has given us great effort. And he's pretty dominant. What people don't understand is most blocks, you're not by yourself. The O-line's in combination with other. At a tight end, you're always on an island blocking. And what we ask him to do, you can't a lot of times. But we're very fortunate to have a tight end like Will Weideman.
Boy, and Danny Joyner, he's on the field. Those two guys are on the field for a lot of snaps.
Yeah, and Danny's been a great addition and plays so hard. And, he left with a game injury too, so he's up in the air for this week. So got a challenge for us in that room.
We got another name that we can add to the depth chart if Danny Joyner's unavailable?
A hope and a prayer. No, what's his name? Braden Thompson is a guy, true freshman, and even from when he got here in June, he stood out. When you see him, you'd say, well, he doesn't belong at SEMO. He looks like, whoa, for a freshman. But, tight end is a lot more mental than people think. You got to know everything a receiver does, right? And you got to know everything an O-lineman does. Like, there's a lot mentally. So, Coach Cole and, Braden's got work cut out for him this week, because I think he's going to have to play.
I know you talk to players about, hey, you're an ankle sprain away from being on the field, so be prepared.
Right.
That's a perfect example right there, right?
Oh, yeah. And we have, and he's gotten a lot of practice reps, and mentally we're trying to save his red shirt. So he's played 3 games. This will be his 4th game. So depending on what happens, he may have to forfeit his red shirt for the mission.
And another guy that got in, now that since we're in Jackson, Logan Bruns got in to kick the football off. I think he was kicking into the wind?
He kicked both, but he had the win most of the time and kicked well. He's a guy that we were challenging to get better and add value, and because of thankful for the redshirt rule, especially with Patrick Hyder too, because, keep his red shirt. But challenged him, thought he could add value, and he did. Ended up hurting he made one tackle and hurt himself. So I can't wait to rib him today.
How, is it?
It's a finger. It's
okay.
Fine.
All right. Not going to affect his kicking is what you're saying.
No. He may not be able to hold his girlfriend's hand or something, but he should be fine.
And I think the year that it came in that you get 4 games and a red shirt, I think that was Geno Hess's freshman year. You played Geno Hess 4 games, including that game you scored 70 points at Tennessee Tech. So that worked in Geno Hess's favor as well.
Exactly. That's a great rule. Guys can get a little bit in, and then you don't have to ask them to sacrifice a year, for a game. Like Patrick Hyder, he's still going to be a freshman next year.
I remember SEMO had a guy that finished. He ended up being an All-American baseball player at SEMO, and he was he was a backup quarterback on the 2010 football team that won the OVC championship and was a part of 2 baseball championships. His name's Derek Gibson, and so he's got a ring for baseball and football. I don't know when the last time anybody at SEMO had 2 rings in 2 sports, but his freshman year he got 1 at bat, went up as a pinch hitter, got 1 at bat, struck out, and it counted as a year. Just 1 at bat. I'm glad the NCAA has looked at that and said, "Come on,
it's common sense." Yeah.
All right. So how about Geno Hess? 198 on the ground, 3 touchdowns, and man, with a freshman quarterback there, you really needed Geno Hess to produce, and it seems like he always produces.
Yeah, I think he was a slow start, but I think he got going and did another nice job. Had good ball security, obviously. And I think he was pretty motivated. Out of high school, Eastern Illinois didn't offer him. In fact, we were the only school that offered him. And, it takes that personal. And it's just amazing how things are changed. Like, we can't ever do that again. Like, if SEMO offers a Geno Hess now, he'll have 5 offers in 2 weeks. But back then, SEMO offer didn't mean much. He didn't get a lot of attention from other schools. And so that's the – the path of the program has gotten a lot better, that when that happens, we're beating 3 or 4 teams on a kid nowadays,
And we look at the conference stats. Murray State ranks dead last in rushing defense. And here comes Geno Smith on Saturday, and you probably – I don't know who – are you willing to say who your starting quarterback is going to be on Saturday? Is it going to be Hyder or CJ? Or?
No, Paxton's still kind of so it's just up in the air. We'll
either way, you're still going to want more production from Geno Hess and Murray. Quite frankly, they've struggled to slow that running game down, and here comes the best running back, one of the best in the country.
But again, they're going to be good enough if we can't throw it.
Right.
Ebay is. We're Division I. Like, you got to be able to throw the football, and so we got to make sure that – and we don't need to throw it 50 times, but we need to be able to be more explosive. We got too good of wideouts to not make sure they touch the football.
Boy, if you are a freshman quarterback and you're a coach coaching a freshman quarterback, how good does it feel to know that you've got guys who are special at wide receiver? They can work themselves open where the quarterback doesn't have to pass them open.
Absolutely. It's the best situation you could ask for, even though you don't want a freshman out there. But that being said, it's the best situation you could ask for.
You said something interesting after the game on Saturday. You said we were going to play Patrick Hyder a little bit today regardless. You wanted to get a look at him. What was the game plan going in? And how many snaps did he take in practice last week?
Yeah, I mean, he was the number 2, and we rep them both quite a bit. So that case, and just like you said, CJ could sprain his ankle, and now here he's up. And so I wanted to make sure, no matter what happened, he was going to get in the game. But the reason that is because he gave me confidence in how he practiced against our defense. So he was our defensive quarterback this whole season. So he would go down and simulate the plays of our opponent and all that. And he made a lot of plays against our number 1 defense and helped them get better and all those things. And so
he opened your eyes being the scout team quarterback.
And that gave me confidence that he wasn't going to go out there and jack it up. But, game's different, so you just don't know how they're going to handle it. There's gamers, too, where they go out and just put on a freak show, too, so you want to make sure they got that opportunity. And the bottom line is, at the end of the day, we're fortunate to have CJ and Patrick. I mean, we really are. Nobody wants to get their quarterback hurt, especially our type of quarterback. And it's tough, and thank God we got those 2.
And how did it make you feel that as soon as you bring Heidert into the game, 10-yard pass to Johnny King, 23-yard pass to Johnny King, boom, boom, he's 2 for 2. King is involved in the game for the first time. How much confidence did that give you? Hey, this kid may be able to figure something out here today.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty instant, obviously. What's tough about it is CJ didn't get any reps with the wind. All that happened. We switched to second quarter. We're now having the wind. It's bang, 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 touchdown. Well, you're going to ride somebody that's hot, right? And you're like, and then touchdown, and then it's, the rest is history. I still think it's about the other 10 players, though. We can't ask our quarterback to go win us a game. We need to make sure he doesn't lose us the game. Take what they give you. Get the ball to our great players.
Boy, and to have such a veteran team, if a freshman is going to be at the most important position, that's got to be a plus.
Yeah, for sure. I don't want it to be the case. Like, no one wants us to go try to win a conference championship with a freshman. But that's the reality, and we got to find a way to do it, and we can't try to make him something he's not. It's about the other 10 guys that are great players, been doing a lot of great work all season long, and we just need to go out and execute.
So I'm guessing that when CJ and Heidert split the reps in practice, those are the most reps that Heidert has gotten in any week so far this year.
Absolutely.
And I'm guessing it's going to be the same thing leading up to this game.
Absolutely.
All right.
And Patrick could stub a toe going to the bathroom. That's what I mean. You got to get them both ready.
Well, who's the next quarterback after Heidert?
It'll be, I don't know what it'll be. Gino probably back there.
All right. Running some Wildcat with Gino Hess. So the recruitment of Will Weideman, we're going to have him on here in just a little bit. He's from Iowa. You haven't had a lot of guys from Iowa.
Right.
Tell us about the recruitment of Will Weideman.
Yeah, I mean, he played on a really unique offense, and so he didn't get recruited as well as he should have because of the offense that he played in. But we were high on him the whole time, and he came in and was an impact player from the get-go. But again, he didn't have a lot of other offers either. He was a guy that was under the radar, but it's been a great career. My favorite moment was him going out for the coin toss for Iowa State. So I talked to his mom, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks before Iowa State. She had sent me pictures because he had when he was young, he had Iowa State gear, and they would go to the games and all that. And for an Iowa kid, that's something special to go get to be a team captain in that stadium. And he got that opportunity that he could tell his grandkids that he played in that stadium. So I'm happy, and I'm hoping he's happy that he decided to finish his career out this year and not go in the workforce, because he's going to be super successful in some farming stuff that he's got going.
Now you're going to have to remind me, Did he win or lose the coin toss at Iowa State?
I don't know. We won.
All right, he remembers.
Well, always ask them. They don't. I remember all the bad plays.
So with the coin toss, Coach, it has been a trend over the last several years. I don't know when it really started, where teams more often than not defer if they win the coin toss. When did that change? And I know you're a defer guy, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what other people think. So analytics will tell you to defer because you get so many possessions a game. Well, you get an extra possession in the second half, right? And they say you already know what they're doing. You already have a great idea about them. So an extra possession, knowing what they're going to do, is the advantage, and that's why you defer. But I didn't defer at Iowa State because I needed that extra possession in the first half to try to keep it close. Because the longer you can keep it close, then now they start to panic, right? And so it kind of depends a little bit on that and the weather. But all things being equal, I'm a defer guy. But if I'm an underdog, I would think about taking the ball to start the first half just because you get an extra possession.
Boy, and you put Paxton DeLorme out there, and he moved you right down the field, and you could see right away. I know you could. I know Red Hawk fans could. This guy belongs at Division I just on that opening possession at Iowa State.
That possession is when I knew we were going to be good. And I knew defense, and we had some things, but we'd get all that worked out. But what he did on that first possession was pretty impressive.
So the Red Hawks will be taking on Murray State on Saturday. It's a 1:00 kickoff, and I don't know if Earthquake Anderson will be at the football game, but I was told through reliable sources he was at the homecoming game.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, so I didn't know that. Maybe that would be kind of cool if Earthquake was there and maybe got a chance to meet Geno Hess. Earthquake's record stood for a long time.
Yeah. Geno's having a great year and will have an unbelievable career, when it's all said and done.
Went back and did a little more research on Earthquake Anderson. I knew he had a successful career in the CFL, but he had 7 straight 1,000-yard, or I believe 8 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons. That was a CFL record.
Oh, really?
And in 2017, he was inducted into the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame. Not the Calgary Stampeders Hall of Fame, the CFL Hall of Fame. Man, he had a great career. He rushed for almost 10,000 yards and almost 60 touchdowns.
That's crazy. Good for him, man. I in the offseason, I'm going to try to do a good job with some of the alums, and him being one for sure, just getting to know their story a little bit and making sure my guys know those stories.
And we had a caller from New Madrid on our Sports Talk show the other day that said Earthquake still lives here in southeast Missouri. So
yeah, I knew that.
He's a local guy.
Yeah, a local guy, and I'm sure he's supporting the Red Hawks now.
So what was your message to the team? We heard part of it, but what as a coach, what do you worry about with one game left, and you've got to win it in order to win the conference championship? What do you worry about as a coach? I know you always worry about the what are they? The candy-coated lies?
Yeah, you ain't gonna worry about any of that this week. This week they'll be ready. They'll be ready to go. I think. But the problem is what happens is you think you got to do something different. That's the whole key this week is we don't have to do anything different. We're good enough, but we got to prepare and we got to win and execute. But all of a sudden it's a championship. I got to press, or I got to go do this, or I got to do that, and then or change the schedule as a coach. Hey, we better do this more. We better, and we need to consistently prepare, right? Get our minds right and go execute. That's it.
Bryce Norman, 11 more tackles, Coach. He's 12 away from leading the conference in tackles. He's number 2 in the OVC. He's just every week it's double-digit tackles, and he had a sack in the football game. He's got an outside shot, and I know it's all about the team, but he's got an outside shot of leading the OVC in tackles as a sophomore.
Yeah, no, it's impressive, and another run team this week, so he'll probably have double digits again, and he's been able to stay healthy, playing at a really, really high level.
So Tim Billings, you hired Tim Billings to come back. Have you ever heard of a head coach of a program years later being we're talking Division I, hired back as an assistant coach? And I've never heard of that.
Me either. Yeah, I mean, it's.
How has he been working out? Because those linebackers are playing pretty good.
Yeah, he's done great, and we don't talk about how he's liking it, really. We're just talking about what it takes to be successful. But It feels like he likes it here. I know it doesn't matter too much because his wife likes it here. So I got that going for me.
Happy wife, happy life is what you're saying.
Exactly. So that part of things. But it's just good to have that kind of diversity. Just at SEMO, you're going to have a lot of young coaches. That's just kind of how it is. But to be able to sprinkle some veterans in there is really nice, and you just get that variety in the staff. And he's mentoring several young coaches, and it's been a win-win.
What I thought was very interesting, since we're going to be talking to Will Weideman, tight end, the all-conference tight end for Eastern Illinois. I mean, back in the day, once in a while, Coach, you would see a guy who was a sixth-year senior. It would be a hardship case, and the NCAA would approve a sixth year for a guy who would miss 2 full seasons because of injury. Valley, number 80, their tight end, is a 7th-year senior. Have you ever heard of a 7th year? He graduated high school in 2015, took a red shirt his first year. He was at Dayton, and he transferred to EIU. Last year, he was hurt, and he was a grad assistant for every game on the sideline, and here he is, all conference, a 7th-year senior. I thought I had heard of everything in college football. I have with COVID, it's possible, but that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know. Like, it's hard to even keep track of, how many years you got left? I mean, I'm asking my own players because it's just different rules.
All right, as Will Weideman comes up, I know you had one story about him with the coin toss, but tell us a little bit about Will Weideman and how he comes to practice every day.
Well, he's just he's going out playing his best ball, which is really hard to do, and it just says a lot about his character. I challenged him quite a bit in a leadership role. He was one that went through our leadership academy, then applied to be a leader, and vote-wise was right there. And, it's really hard to get those kind of votes if you're not a quarterback or a running back, right? Because he plays tight end. So it says a lot just about what his teammates think of him. And, just he's everything I want in a player, man. He's getting his degree. He's going to be super successful. He's tough. He's fun to coach. I remember his fake punts more than anything. Those are fun. We've been able to do just 2 with him, but those are a lot of fun seeing him, because the punt returner is the one that has to get him down, and they want no piece of that. And so those are fun to watch.
So, in other words, he's on the sideline thinking, come on, man, let's fake it, Coach.
Oh, well, every play you should fake, if you ask the players.
He had 3 catches. He had 1 catch. It was over on the right side, and I don't know if he knows what happened. His own lineman who was blocking for him, his foot was there, and it hit Will's ankle, and it brought him down. I don't know if Will kind of knew what had happened there, but that seemed like that was a pretty nice call. It looked like he was probably going to get some good yardage
he was
out of that.
Just an execution thing, but yeah, he's obviously a great run blocker. He's getting better in the pass game. He probably left one. Would you say he should have caught the one in the end zone? One that was just right off his fingertips, but just having a tremendous season.
All right, we'll talk with the Red Hawks tight end Will Weideman. He will join us when we come back. Don't forget, it's a 1 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. The Murray State Racers will be in town, and the Red Hawks, with a victory, clinch at least a share of the OVC championship. Will Weideman will join us when we return. It's the Red Hawks Coaches Show from Wings Etc. in Jackson on SEMO ESPN. Etc. in Jackson, and we'll be over in Cape Girardeau for the next 2 weeks. Want to remind you of that. Did you know that there are over 70 items on the menu here at Wings that are not wings? And that includes their brand new burger lineup, their wraps, their salads, and other favorites. And did you also know that you can now get Wings Etc. delivered? That is through the DoorDash app. You can download it for free, the DoorDash app on your smartphone. Take you a couple of minutes, set up your account, and you can have Wings Etc. delivered to wherever you are. It is the home of the Red Hawks Coaches Show. Wings Etc. Good food and great times. Monday Night Football tonight. Blues hockey tonight, 8 o'clock. They will be in Colorado, and you can watch it all in high def at Wings Etc., either here in Jackson or over in the Cape Girardeau location. Will Weideman is the Red Hawks tight end, and he joins us now here on the Red Hawks Coaches Show. Will, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Fantastic. Now, there is a discrepancy. Multiple rosters have your weight at different spots. One place it's 240, another place it's 261. What can you officially tell us? What is your weight?
Every single one's different, but for my knowledge, it's 250.
Okay. So split the difference then.
Yeah. They were 10 pounds light when I first got here, and then Blackman wanted to make me look big. He put 260 on it and says I'm 6'5", and I'm not 6'5" either.
How tall are you?
6'4" on a good day.
Okay. So 6'5", 250. Were you always the biggest dude in class growing up?
I was. I went to a small school, played on a 2A football team. So I was normally the bigger guy playing in the wrong position. Didn't play tight end until college. Played more middle linebacker, and I played a bunch of different spots on offense, kind of based on what they needed me for the week. So.
Ever play quarterback?
I played quarterback my last game ever in high school.
Really? How'd that come about?
My brother was actually the quarterback, and he was too soft to finish the game. So I had to step in, and we just went Wildcat the rest of the game.
Goldfield High School in Clarion, Iowa. What was their mascot name at Goldfield?
We were the Cowboys.
The Goldfield Cowboys.
Yeah, it's actually Clarion Goldfield Dallas Cowboys. We had
Okay.
a bunch of small schools merged together.
So 3?
Yep.
All right. And it was a 2A school. Now, the coach said that in junior college, and you went to Ellsworth Community College.
Yep.
You ran a different type of offense. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we went through some coaching changes from my freshman to sophomore year. So the sophomore season was more triple option, New Mexico style based. So we had an athletic quarterback, and we didn't really throw the ball much. So I was playing like the H tight end spot, and I was doing a lot of blocking and arcing and blocking safeties. And so anything I can do to help the team win, that's all I care about.
How happy were you when you came to SEMO and slowly but surely during your career they're throwing the ball to the tight end more? Not a lot when you first got here, but much more here, and I'm sure it's you've got to develop some trust before they're going to call plays to throw to the tight end.
And that's my biggest problem, because in practice I'm the one dropping them, and then we get to the game and I haven't dropped one yet this year, except for there's a couple end zone ones that my coach calls drops that touch my end of my finger, but we have arguments about that.
So we couldn't really tell. It was a tough camera angle. We saw it on the replay with the ball in the end zone, so it was just a little too far out of your reach.
That one I should have caught. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one I want back, but like football, you don't get another opportunity sometimes.
I said what I thought was the prettiest play in the game was when they moved everybody right and then a throwback screen to you left. When you're in the huddle, you guys aren't in a huddle.
Yeah,
I mean, you're at the line.
Yep.
Okay, so when you see that that's the play call, what goes through your mind?
So first thing I get is formation, and I saw the formation, and we've been running that formation all game. Then I saw the play call, and I kind of did a double take because I was like, are we really calling that on 4th and 6? And I looked at Pat. Pat looked at me, and I was like, let's run it. And normally that's just a variation. We have a lot of rollout plays with 3 receivers to the right. And me being a run blocker, sometimes the defense forgets about me, so I had to make them pay for it.
And on that interception late in the ball game, how open were you over the middle?
Yeah, I want that one back too. Without that, my first big catch of the game, that was the exact same play, exact same linebackers both blitzed, and Pat saw it. And then the second time, the defense ran it again, and Johnny's one-on-one, and he didn't see the safety bail. So I like my chances with Johnny too, so I wasn't mad about it.
So how much do you relish getting one-on-one with a defensive back? Because I've seen you with a head of steam going down. And, man, these defensive backs can't get down toward your ankles quick enough.
Yeah, the coaches want me to make something shake and make them miss, but I like hitting people. So that's kind of my kryptonite sometimes too.
Well, you've trucked a few.
Yeah.
You've trucked a few defensive backs. so far this season. How much do you like catching the football?
It's I don't know how to word that. Yeah, it's always nice to catch the ball and stuff, but I like watching Gino run the ball more, I think, and I get caught sometimes in the game not doing my job and watching him run. I'm a fan of Gino, and I like when you're running number one in number one in the conference in rushing. I wish we'd run the ball every play, but being able to catch the ball and do some other things and be more versatile, it always helps, and then you keep the defense guessing. So
I know the answer for offensive linemen, but I'll ask you as a tight end, how much more do you like run blocking than pass blocking?
I get in trouble with pass blocking sometimes because I feel like I can take a play off, and it's not the case because within our offense, when we do a lot of slide protections, I'm one-on-one with the defensive end. I have a running back here to come to chip and stuff, but it's still not very easy, especially some of the athletes we go against. But my run blocking is probably my favorite thing to do.
How tough is it sometimes with all of the different formations that you've got and all of the different play calls from Coach McDowell? You're in motion a lot. That's a lot to remember, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this offense, though, because every single play, no matter what we call, there's a run and a pass option. And we can run almost every play out of every formation, and all they have to do is move me around. So if it makes it easier for the receivers, it makes it easier for the looks, and I'm the one that has to figure it out, I'll take that every time.
So Clarion, Iowa is much closer to Ames. It's much closer to Iowa State than it is to the University of Iowa. So I'm guessing you grew up a Cyclones fan and not a Hawkeyes fan.
Grew up a Cyclones fan. Had an uncle play there, and my dad did go to school there. So my grandma's had season tickets since I was born, before I was born. And it was a family affair. We'd get the RV, go tailgate, and go to every home game we could. So it's a big memory I'm always going to remember and live on.
So the state of Iowa is one of those states, much like Nebraska and other states, where there are no professional franchises. Tell us what it is when it is Iowa State week in the state of Iowa.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of chaos normally. It's not that bad for us though. My family's all Iowa State fans, so we don't have any discrepancies there. But
does the entire state almost come to a stop when it's going to be Cyclones and the Hawkeyes?
Yeah, there's nothing going on that day except watching the game or going to the game. So, it's a big deal.
Did you play any other sports growing up other than football?
Yeah, I played 4 sports in high school. I played basketball, football, golf, and baseball.
Golf?
Yep.
All right. I know there's some pretty decent golfers on the football team. Tell us who are the best golfers on the team.
Well, there's a lot of people that think they're the best. But Bryce Norman, he's a pretty good golfer. Our right guard, Kobe Six Killer, he's probably the most consistent, really good golfer. And then the rest of the guys, we like just to get together and go play best ball and go bet some money.
I think, there have been a lot of interesting names of players over the years that come through. SEMO, we had, when Coach Billings was here, we had a wide receiver named Ogie. His first name was Ogie, his last name was Ogie. But Kobe Six Killer, man, that has to be near the top of the name Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and first day, actually, we're doing roll call, and Coach Knapp was going around saying everyone's names, and he just said Six Killer. I was like, how did someone on the team already get a nickname? And everyone's like, no, that's really his name. And he had to pull his ID out and prove it. But Kobe Six Killer, it's a pretty cool name.
Well, you get to line up on the offensive line with him, and he's the one rookie on the offensive line. Everybody else, I mean, this is a veteran offensive line except for Kobe, and he stepped right in and jumped right into the starting lineup. That's tough to do.
Yeah, we didn't skip a beat with him joining. Actually, we started looking better, I feel like. I'm tired of being second in the conference in rushing, and this year, we should have been first last year. But playing with those guys is a lot of fun, and giving Gino any room and him one-on-one with the safety, good things are going to happen.
So as you block for a guy like Geno Hess, now you played defense in high school. How tough would it have been to bring down Geno Hess? That guy, there's not a chance you're going to arm tackle him, and he rarely goes down with first contact. And so many times he just won't go down, and the offensive line gets there and gives him the bush push. Talk about Geno Hess and the way that he runs the football.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to tackle him. There's zero chance. I think he's more like a pinball when he's running, because you can hit him on the side all you want, and he's not going down, and his feet are always turning, and all you have to do is tell him to run hard, because he's going to find an opening, and he's going to take advantage of what the defense gives him.
How much pride does an O-line, and that includes you, take being the top rushing offense in the league and having the number one running back?
Oh, it just means a lot. You know, it looks good on the stat sheet to throw for 300, but when you run for 200, 300 consistently, it opens a lot of eyes, and nobody can stop that.
So, obviously, with Iowa not having a professional team, who was your favorite football team growing up? Other than the Cyclones, I'm talking professional football.
Yeah, I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. So that was a really fun game yesterday, too. I got to watch.
That's the best game of the year.
Yeah.
We were debating this morning on our sports talk show if it lived up, if it was as good as the Buffalo-Kansas City playoff game last year. I don't know that it lived up to that, but it's definitely the best game of this year. And did you think that the Vikings were going to go to Buffalo and win that game?
No. And even at the end, I was about to turn it off. You get stuffed on 4th and goal, and I was pretty upset, and I was about to walk away, and then before you know it, the next snap happened, and Vikings scored, and they were up, and complete change of emotions for me.
Boy, Allen fumbles the football, and then all of a sudden, here come the Vikings, and with Kirk Cousins, you know, he takes a lot of apathy from a lot of the football experts. I don't think they think he's as good as he really is.
Yeah, he's not that flashy guy, but his completion percentage is up, and he gets the ball where it needs to be. And when you have athletes like Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson and guys like that, and now T.J. Hawkinson, tight end from the Lions, they look pretty good.
You know, it may come down to Philadelphia and Minnesota in the NFC Championship game. Are the Vikings going to the Super Bowl?
Oh, I don't want to be like every other fan ever. It's always saying, yeah, your team's going to go, but this year it looks pretty good. 8-1 feels pretty good.
Well, 8-2 looks pretty good for the Red Hawks. What is the mindset going into this game against Murray State? You win, you're the conference champions, and you know for a fact you're going to the playoffs.
Well, it's a first for me, but like Tuke said, it's just like every other week. Nothing changes. So we're going to get prepared. We're going to look at the film, and you know we're going to run the ball because you got a guy like Geno. So I'm tired of losing to Murray. I've lost to Murray ever since I got here. And they're definitely not going to be dancing at Hauk after the fourth quarter. I can promise that.
How about that dance you guys do before the fourth quarter? How fun is that? And you guys even take your music on the road, so the celebration does not stop when you're not at Hauk.
No, that's just a mindset. That's something that Coach Tuke started a long time ago, and I think it brings the guys together. And because some people, like the guys that don't get to play or the guys not involved, they might lose interest, but that fourth quarter song that gets everyone back in the game, and we're always going to win the fourth quarter, or at least try to.
How cool is it when you look around and President Vargas is down on the field dancing with you?
Oh, he loves it, and he's one of our biggest fans, and you can really see that he cares.
Well, it's going to be fun on Saturday, a chance for you to finally beat the Murray State Racers. 1 o'clock kickoff. Best of luck on Saturday, and stay healthy. Thanks for the time, Will.
Appreciate it. Go Red Hawks.
Will Weideman. Coach Tuke will join us for a final word when we come back. It's the Red Hawks Coaches Show from Wings Etc. on SEMO ESPN. Weideman, and I see he's got his food wrapped up. He's ready to take some wings. What time you practice today, Coach?
It's a night practice, so we meet at 4 and basically practice from 5:30 to 6:30.
Okay. Maximum temperature drop.
Yeah, it'll be good. Get out there and get acclimated and get after it, just make sure we have a championship-type practice, and guys are locked in.
So Murray State gets you. UT Martin, you're tied with them. They get Eastern Illinois. And believe it or not, the OVC did not schedule you to play Martin. And I know people still can't believe that, but that's the way that it was. Lindenwood joined late. They definitely wanted you to play Lindenwood. You've got a trophy game on the line. So that's the start of a really good rivalry. And the tiebreaker in the OVC literally is a coin flip. Do we know who gets the call, heads or tails?
Well, the coin flip is only for the automatic bid. Right. So regardless, there'll be co-champs if both teams win. And then who gets the automatic bid does matter. I think we'll be in even if we don't get the automatic. And so
everybody thinks you're in if you don't get the automatic.
So at the end of the day, I'm not even going to tune in. I'd rather make out with my wife.
You know who is going to tune in? Jason Simpson. Every publication says they are not in. If they lose the coin flip, they're not in. If they win the coin flip, they get the automatic bid, and obviously you're going to be in. But that's a big coin flip for UT Martin, more so than it is for you.
Yeah. It's a part of it, and it's what was said, how it's going to go down, and went down to it, and it's not ideal, but I'm not going to focus on something I can't control.
Murray State's quarterback has 12 interceptions this year. That is most in the Ohio Valley Conference. So it has been shown you can take the ball away. You're one of the best takeaway teams in the country. In conference play, you have lost 2 turnovers. That's it. Only 2. 9 for the season. That is a league low and among the best in the nation. You've got an opportunity, potentially, at least from what we've seen, to take the ball away on Saturday.
No, I agree. But the only way we'll do that is if we can limit their run game. They're not going to throw it if we can't limit their run game. And you're not going to stop it. They're too good. They got 2 really good backs. They've been banged up this year, but it seems like they're getting everybody going. And so, it starts with limiting the run game, and hopefully we can force them to pass and create some takeaways.
Boy, and I know you'd like to get off to a quicker start than you did on Saturday, and being at home, that would be conducive to getting off to a quick start.
Yeah, I mean, every game has its life of its own. We just need to do what it takes to win, and don't – the thing is you can't already have things figured out. You need to adapt and adjust as the game unfolds and do whatever it takes to have one more point than them, and mission accomplished and hold that trophy at the end.
What will it take to raise the trophy at the end on Saturday?
Well, I think we got to play well on special teams. We can't do what we did. We got to take care of the football. We got to stop the run and run the ball, and then offensively, we got to be able to be explosive in the pass game. We can't just rely on Geno. Can't just rely on our run game. We got to get the ball out there.
You were in a walking boot for the last home game. Now the boot came off after halftime. We didn't see the boot anymore. You were not able to run to the center of the field during the introductions, the rock and lock. I don't see a boot. How is the foot, and will you be sprinting on Saturday?
I will not be sprinting on Saturday. In fact, that's over. My wife said that I have embarrassed the family long enough. And it's time for the young people in the program to step up, and so I won't be doing that anymore. But
who will be taking your spot?
Lucas Orchard.
Okay.
So he's a Red Hawk, and it's in good hands.
All right.
He doesn't have the swag level I have.
No, we weren't implying that at all.
But He'll be second best. That's not bad either.
All right, Red Hawks not thinking about being second best. They have a chance for the OVC Championship Saturday, 1 o'clock. Hopefully we have a big, loud, raucous crowd. It'll be a sunny day, maybe a little chilly and windy, but a sun-splashed afternoon at Hawk Stadium. Coach, we'll see you there. Thanks so much for your time.
Go Red Hawks.
All right, that is Coach Tom Matukowicz. That's going to do it. We'll get you back into our ESPN programming. And don't forget, we've got basketball coming up this week. The Red Hawk men are at Evansville on Wednesday. The Red Hawk women will be at home on Friday night at 6:30. Hope to see you at the Show Me Center. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. So long from Wings.